around here.
Can I please have all the members of parliament in front, please?
Now we're
So you can be known by
I don't mind lighting.
Yeah. And for Jay.
not these days. Nowhere near
Okay, are we all ready? Listen to my boring speech. Welcome, and I'm really, really thankful to have you all here today. Before I go talk, I would like to introduce somebody very special that came to give us a welcome to country. Lanian, could you please step forward and give us welcome to country?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, and looking forward to a strong partnership together, changing this community for the better for all of us, darling. So I wish you all the best on your journey, and it's like you've got some great support here, and so let's stick together through the good times and the hard times. Fantastic. Listen, just standing back and looking, and when I first drove in here, having a look around, I grew up in this neighbourhood. Walked around here when I was a young kid, and coming from the country and coming down looking for, the hopes that I was dreaming about of playing footy and doing other little bits and pieces and trying to further myself with education and dealing with all the other little bits and pieces what us Aboriginal people had to deal with yesterday. But what has been encouraging is watching and learning and building relationships. I'm all about big on building relationships with partners in organisations and relationships with each other. I think it's not fair for any individual to go through life not knowing each other and not building relationships. I was looking before and also understanding this, and we've all come on different ships, but we're all in the boat together. We're all in this boat together. So, let's think about that and think about it from our hearts. A lot of the decisions that we are going to make individually, let's think about it through our heart, through our court. Because a lot of the things that are in our world at the moment, we don't invite them into our life. It barges into our life and it upsets our life. And if we haven't got anyone there to support us, unfortunately, we can go to our knees very quickly. And when we go to our knees, it's hard to get back up again. So we can all sort of do that sort of stuff. We've all got one thing in common. We are all human beings. Yes, we have our different thoughts about our culture and our footy teams and other different sort of bits and pieces. But listen, we come together here on Noongar country, on old yarns, and where my old people here had stayed for thousands and thousands of years. We had lived off this land for thousands and thousands of years. Through my stories, through my nanas and pops, that had told me that we don't own this country, we belong to this country. This country will look after you and you look after this country. You become a part of this country and this country becomes a part of you. The more you guys live in this country, the more that you will know what I feel about this country. So like I said, we're all in this together. What COVID has done is reminded us that we are all in this together. Every life matters, and it's not the colour of your skin, it's what's in your heart and what you are going to take forward to the next stage. So, Kaya wanju nyan jurp and nunuk jinining nyan jurp and murich yogas, murich mamans, wankening on Yunga Buja, wankening from their court for their mort on Yunga Buja, wanju. For all the strong men, the providers and the protectors, thank you very much for looking after the Kwabadak yogas that have bared the children and our grandmothers and our children and our uncles and our aunties today. For all the little Coolingas that are here, the future for us all. Let's make sure that we understand what we talk to them guys are going to help us change tomorrow for us all. To heal the wounds for yesterday, for not only for my people, but for your people too. So, Wanju, welcome to Noongar Buja. Welcome, my sister.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. That was really great. Welcome to the country. I really appreciate you present here. I would like to begin by also acknowledging the traditional owners on the land which we meet and pay my respect to the elders in past. I want to also thank this country for giving me a chance to be here with my family and the honor of me becoming a member of parliament. Welcome everybody, once again. I'm really flattered to have all of you here today, especially with all my colleagues, members of parliament, and the most busier person in town, our health minister, and the two ministers, Jade and also Honorable Lana Martinen. Thank you for coming. It is a joy to see many of my colleagues, of course, from upper house and the lower house. I'm very honored. And I will call them out by each name. All of them are here, and I think this is like the biggest turnout. I'm just like, oh wow, I feel like crying. So I will start with my dear friend. I don't know where to start it, but thank you so much, Honorable T, for the support you have shown me from the beginning until now. Honorable Martin Pritchard, thank you for your support. Emily Arlington, my dear friend, she's a member for June Club. She has been very supportive. She's not here today, but I appreciate her support. I would also like to acknowledge another great woman, Sabine Winton. Thank you, member for Wanneroo, all the way. Thank you. Of course, our popular area Merbuka, Mervet Mohammed, thank you for being here today. Also, I will acknowledge Mark Folkart, member for Band Speech. Thank you for your support, Mark. Christina Stratton, member for Netsland. Thank you for your support. I also like to acknowledge my great friend, Jessica. I still can't pronounce her last name. Stokowski.
I can't pronounce your last name either.
Member for Kingsley, all the way, thank you. Also, Caitlin, my young friend. We fought together and we made it one because of one of your hard work, thank you. Member for Hillary. Also, I would like to acknowledge my neighbor, David Michael, member for Balkata. Thank you, David, for your great support. I would also like to acknowledge Patrick Gorman, our federal member. Thank you, Patrick, for your support. Also, I would like to acknowledge Senator Sue Lane. Thank you for your support. I hope I have not missed anyone from the Member of Parliament. No, I think we're all there. I would also like to acknowledge Edith Count for opening doors for many women to represent our community. Edith Count was the first woman in our parliament, and to me, we're here today because of her. So I would like to really give her that acknowledgement. Thanks to my mentor and my dear friend, and also honorary grandmother to my son, Janine Freeman. Freeman, for everything that you have done for me and my family. I really appreciate the support. I'm grateful to have an opportunity that Labour Party has given me, and also the McGowan government, our most popular premier in town. Without the premier, we wouldn't be here today, all this team. Because of his name, we made it through to our 2021 election. So thank you to the premier. I would also like to thank our volunteers. They're very important people in our lives, especially being a member of parliament during the campaigning time. They do a lot of work for us. So today I would like to give that acknowledgement to all the volunteers that work so hard for us to get through. Also, I would like to acknowledge my union, the United Workers Union. Guys, if anyone haven't joined union, you should look into it. The United Workers Union, especially from Caroline Smith and Dom Rose. Thank you for your great support always. Thanks to my North Metro region and the Western Australia for placing their trust in me. And I will make sure that I work hard for your interests, and to make sure that your voices are heard in Parliament if you're a member of North Metro here and also a member of Western Australia. And that's our job as members of Parliament to represent you well. I cannot put into words how important it is for all the Western Australia from the diverse background to have a role in making decisions that affect the wider community. So to me, this is a great honor that I'm a part of this journey to try my luck and also be supported by my great team behind the McGowan government so we can make it happen for our community. I do like to also shout out to a particular person in our community. He's here today, the president of South Sudanese community. His name is John Akuot Aciek. He's a great leader. He has supported me. He has really supported me. And that's the type of leadership we need in our community. When we see the young one, people that were ambitious, give them the support. So I'm really grateful for your support. To my staff, I don't know where I could have done this without you because I am a new mom and it has been very difficult. But all of my staff, they've been so grateful, very supportive. So I would like to give a shout out to Alan, Nyat, and Linda. Thank you guys for your support. And I look forward to our great journey together. I feel blessed to have such a lovely, spacious office that I was left to me by Honorable Alana McKinnon. But I'm sure the office looked quite different. It's pretty beautiful, but we kind of colored it up a little bit. I do like to mention your generosity. You have shown me, Alana, from also giving me this beautiful piece of artwork. I really appreciate it. And another big acknowledgement to Janine Freeman for helping me to decorate my building with all her past artwork. So thank you, Janine. Finally, I would like to give a shout out to my family, my loved one, and for the outgoing support that they have shown me. The person that I would really like to acknowledge is my partner Deng and my son Topeng for helping me at home when I really needed it. Also, I'll give a shout out to my mom, who this is her first Labour Party event that she's been to. When I got elected, and she came through when I was going to get sworn in. She was in quarantining, I think, in Brisbane, so she never made it to everything that happened, but I'm glad she's here today. I would also like to give a shout out to my in-laws. Thank you for coming. The elders of the community, thank you. My friends, thank you so much. My aunties, you know, I come from South Sudan. We're all brought up, aunties, uncles. So to my aunties, to my uncles, my sisters, my mothers, thank you for coming to support me today. And of course, to my Western friends, I appreciate your support always. In closing, I do like to introduce a great advocate, but he's not here today. He was called up, but I will leave that. But I would like to now give it to the most important person to actually bless my office and do my official opening, Honorable our Minister for Health, Roger Cook, too.
Thank you, Ayor. Thank you for involving me and our colleagues in this important occasion of opening another great Labor office in the northern suburbs of Western Australia. Doesn't it feel good? Look at all these members of Parliament. So can I begin by joining you all in acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we live, the Whadjuk people of the proud Noongar Nation. And we give thanks for sharing this country with them and to be able to acknowledge their elders past and present. So thank you for your welcome, Len. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for blessing this place for us. And in acknowledging the traditional owners, I think we should acknowledge an important principle of the Labor Party. And that is that we want to make sure that we can look after our first Australians and our newest Australians, which is the reason why opening this office is such an important opportunity for us to celebrate one of our important principles, and that is that we create equality of opportunity, not just for those who have been here for some time, but those who are amongst us today and those who have come before us. And it is a really important opportunity for us to acknowledge those things. Can I also acknowledge just some other people in the room? Carolyn Smith, the State President of the Australian Labor Party, has done a great job in leading us to the most successful election in our history. I want to acknowledge Janine because I know the great work that she's done in representing the community of the northern suburbs, but also in supporting Ayor and Janine. A great legacy to to the Parliament with. And can I also, I hope you don't mind, this is a bit self-indulgent, I want to acknowledge another former Member of Parliament, Jan McFarlane. Now, Jan is the former member for Stirling, a member of the House of Representatives. And the reason why I want to acknowledge her is so I can say that I was her manager when she first got elected. But I also want to do it to just remind you that this used to be a place where we had a Labor representation at the federal level. And so in acknowledging Patrick and Sue, can I just remind everyone that even though we've come through an incredibly successful election period, having won the last state election, the fight's not over. We have another thing to do, every one of us in this room, to commit ourselves to making sure that we can take Labor's message to Canberra, making sure that we return an Albanese Labor government, because we know it's only through a federal Labor government that everyone in Australia will get the opportunities that a Labor government can provide. So please, all of you, remember that in the coming weeks and months as we prepare, fundraise and volunteer to get ready for the next federal election. Having Ayor as a Member of Parliament fills us all with incredible pride. Pride because we know that we are succeeding in doing one of the important things that we like to make sure that we do in Parliament, and that is connect with the communities that we aspire to represent. And we know that we can do that when we have those of our number that represent the community that we're there to represent and advocate for. Which is the reason why we're so proud that we now have over 50% of women in the Labor Party caucus in state parliament. It's the reason that we are so proud that we have someone like Pierre Yang representing the northern suburbs, ensuring that people from his community, but also everyone that you represent, has an opportunity to have their voice heard. And of course, it's the reason why we are so proud to have the first South Sudanese Member of Parliament in any Australian Parliament in Australia. And I'm also the first African woman to represent, to be a representative in the state parliament as well. And we know that Ayor is not only a great ambassador for the South Sudanese community, but a great representative for the community generally. And she'll bring passion, she'll bring power, and she'll bring an important level of community connection to that place to make sure that we can continue to do great things on behalf of the West Australian community. Now at the moment, I'm so sorry your mum was in quarantine. That was my fault. We are in a really important period of our history as we all struggle to fight against the global pandemic, which is COVID-19. And we know that there's a level of hesitancy out there in the community with regards to the vaccines that are available. And the best way that we can combat that hesitancy is to make sure that we can communicate and work with the community so they understand the importance that the only way we're going to get out of this is through getting vaccinated. And we'll be relying on people like Ayor to get that message out there into the community. She's so important to our mission of making sure that we get on top of the global pandemic, which is COVID-19. So everyone, thank you very much for coming today. And it's such an important message that you're all here to support Ayor, and such an important opportunity to celebrate once again another great Labor office which will go to continue to take our message out there to the community, but more importantly enable us to help the people in our community so that they can benefit from this great community in which we all live. So congratulations and thank you very much for having me.
Had a bit of practice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Roger Cook. I really appreciate your presence and your great speech that you have just gave to the community. Thank you. I would also like to give somebody to actually give me a blessing as well. Honorable Alana McTiernan.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, after that fabulous presentation of Roger's, wow. But oh, look, what a beautiful occasion, and started so beautifully by Len welcoming us all. And I just think this is a great story. The oldest Australians and the newest Australians coming together and understanding that we all share this land. And I think, Len, your message was just beautiful about how none of us own the land. We all belong to the land, and the longer we're here, the more that it will get into our soul. That was gorgeous. But look, I'll just have to say, what an extraordinary human being you are. I mean, since the first moment that Janine came and introduced us, I think we're out sort of looking at ferrets or birds or something. It was the Ferret Society, the Bird Society, and was introduced to Ayor, and you just, that positive spirit, you could see that this is absolutely, this young woman, it was going to be an absolute ornament in our parliament, and bring that desire to go out and work positively within the community. And as you know, we worked over that last year together, and heard your incredible first speech, where you talked about a life of challenge, but you were acknowledging the magnificent community that you had come from, and that in anything that there are always positives. I have to say, Ayor, I've always said that my great aspiration for you was, of course, to be a leader within your community, but I see you as someone that actually has that soul, has that personality that can go out and connect amongst all Australians. And I think that's when we have really achieved what we need to achieve to be a single and united community. So I was so pleased when you wanted to get, we'd put a lot of work into getting this quite grand office. We had a little bit of office envy from other people.
Was it an indoor basketball stadium before?
You just got to be on the ball. Get your staff there to grease the palms of parliamentary services. But anyhow, it couldn't go to a more fabulous person. So Ayor, I hope that you have, that this is the beginning of a fabulous journey for you. I'm also pleased, I just big shout out for Linda. Linda Cull, who has been with me for a decade or more.
And you left with me.
And
How lucky.
well, I thought you talked people are going to stay together. But seriously, you're going to be fantastic. It's going to be a huge challenge for you. But this is an enormous opportunity for you to make an extraordinary difference within our community. So, you know, have a great time, be happy as you will always be, and enjoy helping our community move forward together.
I really appreciate that. I don't know what to say, but one thing that I like about you is the fact that you never pass. You always like to have 1 minute chat, and that I really appreciate it. So if you keep that relationship, I'll be blessed forever. I would also like to give somebody very special. She has been my great mentor, MBJ. She's our Minister for Climate Change, and she's a great role model to me, especially being a young mom in Parliament and, you know, all the political stuff. So thank you. Please say something.
Thank you, Ayor, for the opportunity to say a few words. I won't speak for long. I also will acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we meet today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. And thank you, Len, for welcoming us today. You know, sometimes the people who beat the path to Parliament or are crawling over themselves to get in there are not always the people that you really want in there. And sometimes we identify leaders in the community that need a little bit of cajoling, a little bit of harassment, Janine Freeman style, and a little bit of support to actually say, you can do this. You can do this and you will be fabulous. And Ayor absolutely fits that mould. And we're so honoured to have you in the Parliament, but particularly in the Labor Party, and we welcome you. Not only were you probably quite unsure about what your new life held, but you then discovered you're having a baby. And for those of us who have had children in the Parliament, there's many. It's not easy. It's not easy, and there are a few little tricks and tips that you learn about where to go and have a nap, and you know, who's taking up the sick room when you need to lie down, and where you can feed, and all those sorts of things. So it's been a real pleasure to have Ayor as a comrade in the Parliament, and hopefully remind the Parliament that it's changing. It's changing significantly, and we want it to keep changing, and that's why we need to keep encouraging young people, young women into the Parliament to remind them of that. So this is really just, you know, I do want to shout out to Janine for her, you know, again, ongoing harassment of Ayor. And look, it's a fantastic get together, and I think you've got backbenchers, parliamentary secretaries, ministers, community leaders, very envious of your crowd here. So thank you very much for coming today, and thank you, Ayor.
Thank you, Emma. I really appreciate that great talk. I'll go back again and acknowledge my dear friend, Jane McFarlane. I'm very sorry I didn't acknowledge you, but Jane has been my great mentor as well. She supported me. She was the first person to actually pay me a donation, which is still sitting in my account. So thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate your presence here. And of course, to everybody that I haven't mentioned, please know that I'm very thankful. One thing that I have been brought up, I never forget people that were there for me at my lowest. So at my lowest, I remember everybody from here, and thank you for your support. Thank you to all my members of Parliament colleagues for coming to support me. Thank you, Len. Thank you for your great welcome to country. This office belongs to the North Metro region, of course to the community. You're welcome to come here anytime. If you have any question, if you have any problem, reach out to my staff, and I'm sure my staff will direct you to the right place. And this is my job here as a member of Parliament. And I'm very fortunate to have all these members of Parliament. Now you can match the faces with the names. Thanks once again. So welcome to finalize the last drinks at the back, and also the food that we have. Don't leave it back.
Hooray! A bit! Hooray! A bit! Hooray!
This way, someone get some cameras on that side. Do you guys all stay put?
Yeah, excellent.
Oh, come through. Yeah. Everybody stay put.
This is we just blessed this new office, and I hope nothing.